A camouflaged SUV was spotted road testing on the Monash Freeway here in Melbourne, Australia the other week, and it was sporting New South Wales number plates. A quick check of those plates lists it as the BYD DENZA B5. So what is it, and what will it offer? Well, that's what we're going to go over today on this episode of Beyond EV, your home for everything BYD. Hi everyone, David here from Beyond EV, and in mid-2024, BYD executives announced that BYD's DENZA brand would be hitting Australian shores in 2025. DENZA is BYD's premium brand that is designated to compete against the likes of Lexus and the premium European brands such as Audi, BMW and Mercedes-Benz. So what is the DENZA B5? Well, if you watched my recent video about future BYD cars coming to Australia and New Zealand, you would have seen that I listed the DENZA B5 name as a possible name for the Fangchenbao Bao 5 should it come to Australia or New Zealand. And it looks like this has all but been confirmed, as together with the New South Wales license plate check, BYD recently announced that the Bao 5 would be heading over to European markets under the name DENZA B5. And a quick search of the Australian IP Trademark Registry also shows that BYD Australia has registered DENZA B5 as a trademarked name. And interestingly enough, they have also registered the trademark for the DENZA B8 as well. But more on that later. In this video, we'll be focusing on the DENZA B5, or the Fangchenbao Bao 5, the vehicle that's shaping up to be one of the first vehicles to hit Australian shores under BYD's premium DENZA brand. But what makes it premium? And why would it be a DENZA car and not a BYD car? Well, let's dive into it and see why.
The DENZA B5 is the naming designation given to the Fangchenbao Bao 5 that is currently sold in China. The DENZA B5 name is what it will be sold under in overseas markets, including, by the looks of things, Australia and Europe. Fangchenbao is BYD's dedicated off-road brand and specialises in manufacturing vehicles for off-road and adventure use. The name Fangchenbao translates in English to Formula Leopard, with Bao 5 translating to Leopard 5. Before the revelation of the DENZA B5 name for the vehicle, it was anticipated that the vehicle would be sold under the BYD brand name and be called the BYD Leopard 5 in overseas markets. DENZA is BYD's dedicated premium luxury brand, and vehicles under this brand are designed to compete against the likes of Mercedes-Benz, BMW and Lexus. DENZA's premium placement in the marketplace can be substantiated by the fact that the brand was created as a 50-50 joint venture between Mercedes-Benz and BYD back in 2010. Over the last 15 years, BYD had been acquiring more and more shares of DENZA off Mercedes up until last year in 2024. Which was when BYD bought the final 10% share that Mercedes-Benz still had in DENZA, thereby gaining 100% control of the DENZA brand going forward. Given the premium features that the vehicle comes with as standard, it makes sense to be sold under the DENZA brand, as there is a definite step up in features compared to what is available on current BYD branded vehicles. It is anticipated that the specs and features of an overseas model that would come to Australia and Europe would compete with the likes of the Land Rover Defender, but would be competitive in price with the Toyota Prado. We will cover these premium features later on in the video, but for now, let's jump into its size and dimensions. The DENZA B5 is a mid-size 4x4 body-on-frame wagon that comes in 4 different variants in China. It is unsure as yet which version or versions would be headed overseas, but in this video I'll be focusing more on the features of the more premium variants. The DENZA B5 measures in at 4.89 meters long by 1.97 meters wide by 1.92 meters in height and rides on a wheelbase of 2.8 meters. Its measurements put it in the same category as the Toyota Prado, Ford Everest and Isuzu MU-X. It's almost identical in size to the Toyota Prado, give or take 1 or 2 centimeters in each direction, and is about 8 centimeters longer than the Ford Everest. And in the premium sector, it will compete directly against the Land Rover Defender and Lexus GX. It will carry a curb weight of 2,890 kilos, significantly heavier than that of the Prado and the Everest, both of which are around 500 kilos lighter. And of course, a lot of this extra weight can be attributed to the LFP blade battery that the DENZA B5 has on board. The DENZA B5 carries a minimum ground clearance of 220mm that is adjustable up to 310mm with its DSUS-P suspension setup and features a wading depth of 790mm. It also features approach and departure angles of 35 and 32 degrees respectively. These are significantly greater angles to the Prado and the Everest, which only offer around 32 and 20 degrees approach and departure respectively. The DENZA B5 will run on the same DMO dual mode off-road platform that the BYD Shark 6 operates on. The DENZA B5 will run the same 1.5 litre turbocharged engine currently used on the Shark 6, but it's paired with electric motors that can supply even more power to the wheels. It will come with a 200 kilowatt front motor and a 285 kilowatt rear motor that will provide a combined total of 505 kilowatts of power and a staggering 760 newton meters of torque. That is more than 3 times the power that the Toyota Prado offers and more than 50% more torque. And it beats out the top spec Land Rover Defender V8 in both power and torque as well. On the road, this translates to a 0 to 100 km/h time of a lightning 4.8 seconds. This means that this box 4x4 wagon is as fast as an Audi S4, and all this is powered by a 31.8 kWh BYD LFP blade battery, which will provide 100 km of EV only range. And this is paired with an 83 litre fuel tank that, combined with the battery, will provide over 1,000 km of combined range in hybrid mode. The towing capacity of the model currently available in China is the same 2.5 tonnes as found on the Shark 6, but given its power and capability it has on tap, it might actually change for models headed to overseas markets. So what makes this a DENZA and not a BYD? Well, a lot of it will come down to the technology and features not just in the cabin but around the vehicle as well. Starting with the driving dynamics of the vehicle itself. If we do end up getting one of the higher spec variants that's available in China, then the DENZA B5 will be the first BYD vehicle to hit our shores with BYD's DSUS-P advanced suspension system. This is BYD's advanced air suspension system that on the DENZA B5 will provide 140mm of travel and reach up to 310mm of ground clearance. The air suspension system is instantly adjustable, and the infotainment screen will even show you the clearance height and the total vehicle height at any given setting. Perfect for when you hit any rock features out on the trail, as well as when you go to the shops and hit a low clearance car park. The car also features 6 kilowatts V2L as per the BYD Shark 6, with an external V2L adapter required to power devices outside the vehicle, but will also feature a single 240 volt socket in the boot. The Bao 5 in China is also one of their vehicles that features V2V, or vehicle-to-vehicle capability, and it's unsure yet if this feature would be available in overseas models, but V2V will allow the DENZA B5 to charge other EVs with 6 kilowatt charging speeds. That's similar speeds to a dedicated level 2 AC home charger. Another cool feature that the DENZA B5 will provide is what's called the Bao turn, or leopard turn in China. You may have seen the tank turn that the Yangwang U8 can do in other videos. Well, that U8 is able to do that because it has a quad motor system, an independent motor for each wheel. The DENZA B5 is only a dual motor system and can perform a dual motor version of this. It's not exactly a tank turn, but what it will do is minimize the turning circle of the B5 down to just 3.4 meters. An amazing capability to have on tap if you find yourself stuck or needing to navigate tight spaces. Now, on top of all of that, did I mention that it can do 0 to 100 in 4.8 seconds? It's an absolutely incredible machine that will provide drivers with capabilities they've never seen before at the price point it will be sold for. But it doesn't stop there. Moving into the cabin, and the DENZA B5 offers up luxury and features you won't find on any other vehicle at this price point. Up front, it features 3 full-size screens on the dash, a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster for the driver, the BYD 15.6-inch rotating touchscreen in the middle with 2K resolution, and also a dedicated 12.3-inch multimedia touchscreen located on the dash specifically for the front passenger and will feature apps like Netflix and YouTube. Now, this passenger screen features a very narrow viewing angle and is not actually visible from the driver's seat, or even above the center armrest. You basically have to be right in the passenger seat to see it, and this ensures it won't distract the driver in operation. The center console features two 50-watt wireless chargers with ventilation, and also features a center console, fridge, freezer, and heater. That's right, in cool mode, it can be adjusted to cool its contents from 10 degrees down to -6 degrees Celsius. And in heating mode, it can heat its contents from 30 degrees up to 50 degrees Celsius. So it can keep your beers cold or your pies hot for when you need it after a long drive. But unfortunately, it just can't do both at the same time. The center console buttons share its layout with the BYD Shark 6 and offer physical buttons for drive modes, suspension height, and AC control. Underneath the console, there is a feature that is actually found on just about all Denza vehicles, and that is the 3-scent fragrance dispenser. The Denza B5 will allow you to install 3 different scents and will project the scent of your choosing into the cabin. As for the audio, the Denza B5 features the premium DEVALAY 18-speaker audio system with headrest integrated speakers. These speakers provide even more depth to the audio stage and can also be used to project sounds directly to the driver without disturbing other passengers. Sounds like navigation prompts or alert sounds. It's a similar feature to Joe mode found on Teslas. To top it all off, the car comes with a full panoramic sunroof with retractable glass roof and Napa leather seats all round. There has been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about the BYD Shark 6 not being able to handle slopes very well, and instead of leading with the likely reason of it just requiring a software update to fix its pre-production traction control system, it was said that its lack of climbing capability could be due to the single gear reduction ratio that the BYD DMO drivetrain operates on. Well, the Denza B5 runs on that same DMO platform as the BYD Shark 6, and it's been around for over a year now in China. There are a large number of videos online of it tackling slopes in China. So how does it go? Well, let's take a look for ourselves. It turns out that the single gear reduction ratio in an EV doesn't seem to have any problems attacking slopes. The Denza B5 is capable of attacking 100% grade slopes. That's a 45-degree angle of incline. And unlike the Shark, the Denza B5 will feature electronic diff locks. All variants feature rear diff locks, with the more premium versions featuring both front and rear locks. In addition to this, the Bao 5 or Denza B5 also just received the Violent Mode OTA update that, when turned on, provides max power and torque to the wheels at speeds below 5 km an hour. I did a video on this very mode not long ago, so if you want the full details of what Violent Mode can offer, click the link up in the corner. In China, the Denza B5 starts at a price of around $51,000 Australian and goes up to around $66,000 Australian. But there is absolutely no indication yet on what the pricing of the Denza B5 would be like in Australia or Europe. But if I was to take a guess, I would probably range it at around $70,000 to $80,000 Australian, depending on the variant that's on offer. BYD Australia has made a good habit of hitting the market with spectacular pricing on their new vehicle releases, and they end up being much lower than originally anticipated. So, fingers crossed, the same happens here. But this is pure speculation at this stage, and the price could be absolutely anything. As for when the Denza B5 will be made available in either Australia or Europe, again, no one really knows. It has been spotted road testing in Australia, so you have to say it's going to be sometime very soon. BYD Australia did announce that 2025 would be the year that the Denza brand hits our shores, so it's a very good chance that the Denza B5 could be one of the launch vehicles when Denza finally arrives.
The introduction of the Denza B5 will see BYD having a vehicle in each of Australia's top-selling vehicle segments. The 4x4 wagon segment is a very important one in Australia, with the likes of the Toyota Prado, Ford Everest and Isuzu MU-X currently making up the majority of the mix. But I can see the introduction of the Denza B5 completely shaking up this mix by offering features and capabilities that not just meet but exceed what the luxury grade Lexus GX 250 offers, but with a starting price that will likely be below what the Prado GX starts at. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I'm keen to see if Aussies and Kiwis will take to it. But what do you think? Do you think the Denza B5 will match the likes of Ford and Toyota in the 4x4 wagon market? Or do you think that their long-standing reputation as burly off-roaders will be too hard to break? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to Beyond EV for more BYD related videos. We've got plenty more headed your way. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.